Hello and welcome to this crochet lace tutorial. Today we'll be making our 7th square. This is a square that uses different colour combinations to add interest with the fuchsia and red, and also concentrates on the cluster stitch that we've been using in previous squares. In this square we'll be using cluster stitches of different lengths to add interest. It's a really beautiful square and I really hope you'll enjoy making it with me today. Shall we have a look at what we'll need? What are we going to need for square number 7? We have our fuchsia yarn that came free with this issue and our white, red and navy yarns. We have a 1.75mm crochet hook, a sewing needle just for weaving in the ends, and a pair of scissors. We're going to start with a magic ring. Form a cross on 2 fingers, turn your hand over, go under the first loop of yarn and pick up the second, make a twist on your hook, then make a slip knot with that yarn just there. Can then take it off our fingers and we're ready to work. We're going to start with a chain 1 that's not actually counted as a stitch this round, and we're going to work 16 double crochet into the magic ring. That is 16 double crochet into the magic ring, and we can pull our ring tight to close the round. We're then going to finish with a slip stitch into our first double crochet. And we can fasten off yarn A, round 2, and we're going to be using our red yarn, yarn B, and we're going to join it to the chain that we started round 1 with. It's kind of just hiding underneath this last slip stitch that we did. So we're going to go in under that slip stitch, join our red yarn, and then we're going to chain 5. And that counts as our first treble and 2 chain space. We're then going to miss our first stitch, which is this stitch we've sort of worked over here, and then we're going to treble in the next stitch and chain 2. And that is our repeat for this round, and we're going to be doing it 14 times. We're not missing a stitch every time though, it was just that first one that we missed. So it's going to be treble in every stitch, chain 2, 14 times. I've worked that repeat 14 times, so all there is left to do now is work one final treble in our last stitch just there. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work a double crochet in the 3rd chain that we started with. And that is our round 2. We can now fasten off our red yarn. We're going to be starting with our white yarn for round 3. Round 3, we're going to be working with our white yarn, and we're going to join it to that double crochet that we've just worked at the end of round 2. Just there. We're then going to work a treble 3 cluster in this stitch. So to start off, we're going to start with chain 2. And then we're going to work a treble 3 cluster. So we've done these before in previous squares. You're working half of a stitch, half of a treble stitch this time, leaving the remaining loops on your hook. So this time, after doing 2 trebles, we'll have 3 loops on the hook. We go round and through. That is our first treble 3 cluster. We're then going to chain 2. And now we're going to start our repeat. So we're going to skip the next chain space and we're going to work a treble 3 cluster in the top of this treble. So treble 3 cluster, like we've done before, we're working 3 trebles in the stitch, but we're leaving the last part of each stitch on the hook. So when you've done 3 trebles, you'll have 4 loops on your hook, go round through all 4 loops, and then chain 2. That is our repeat for this round, and we're going to work it a total of 14 times. That is our 14 repeats complete there. So we've just got one last treble 3 cluster to do in the top of this treble here. We're then going to finish with chain 1, and we're going to work a double crochet in the top of this treble 3 cluster that we started the round with. And that is our round 3. And we're going to be continuing with our white yarn for round 4, so we can leave that attached. Round 4, we're going to start with chain 1. We're then going to work a double crochet into that space we just finished the last round with. We're then going to chain 3 and double crochet in the next 2 chain space. We're then going to chain 7 and double crochet in the next 2 chain space. And that is our repeat for this round. Nice simple one. We're going to chain 3, double crochet in the next 2 chain space, chain 7. We're going to be doing it a total of 7 times, so we need to do it 6 more times, and I'll show you what it looks like when we've done that. I've now worked that repeat a total of 7 times, and then we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to finish with a treble treble into our first double crochet just here. So for a treble treble, we're going around the hook 3 times to start, into our stitch, and then finish as you would a normal treble or double treble. We're just going round 1 more time. That is our treble treble. And that is the end of this round here. We can now fasten off our white yarn, and we'll be continuing with our navy yarn for round 5. Round 5, we're going to start with our navy yarn. We're going to join it to the chain space that we just created with that treble treble. So we're going to join it, chain 1, and work a double crochet in the same chain space. We're then going to chain 1. Then going to be working in the next 3 chain space. And we're going to be starting our repeat for the round, and it starts with our first specialty stitch this round, which is a double treble, treble treble, quadruple treble cluster, which sounds incredibly fancy, but is quite simple. It is just a cluster stitch, but we're using different heights of stitches in that stitch. So it's worked the same way we would normally work a cluster, where we leave the last part of the stitch on the hook, but we're making our stitches different lengths. So we're going to start with the double treble part, so round the hook twice, and then work a normal double treble up to the last part of the stitch, leaving the last 2 loops on the hook. We're then going to do the treble treble part, so round 3 times, work your treble treble as normal up to the last part. This time you'll be left with 3 loops on the hook. Then we're going to go around 4 times for a quadruple treble into the same space, and again work your quadruple treble as you would normally up to the last part, which is going to leave you with 4 loops on your hook. You're then going to go round and through all 4 loops on your hook, and that is our double treble, treble treble, quadruple treble cluster. We're then going to chain 6. And then work 2 double crochets all in the same 3 chain space. And then we chain 1. We're then going to double crochet into our 5 chain space and chain 5. We're then going to work 1 treble treble 4 stitch cluster. So this is another cluster stitch, but all our stitches are the same height. So they're all the treble treble height, and we're going to be doing 4 of them. So round the hook 3 times, and then work a treble treble as normal up to the last part of the stitch, leaving 2 loops on the hook. Round the hook 3 times, and again work your treble treble as normal up to the last part of the stitch. So now with 3 loops. Round 3 times again. Four loops. And the last time, we're left with 5 loops. We're then going to go round and through all 5 loops. And that is our treble treble 4-stitch cluster. Chain 6. And then work a double crochet in that same chain space. Then going to chain 1 and work 2 double crochet in our next chain space just here. We're going to chain 6 and then we're going to work 1 quadruple treble, treble treble, double treble cluster. So this is exactly the same as the stitch that we did at the beginning, it's just in the reverse order. So we're going to start with a quadruple treble, so 4 times round the hook. Work that as normal up to the last part, leaving the 2 loops on your hook. Work a treble treble, so 3 times round the hook until you've 3 loops left on your hook. And then a double treble, so round twice, leaving 4 loops on the hook. We then go round and through all 4 loops. We're going to chain 1 and then we're going to work 1 double crochet in the next chain space. So that is our repeat for this round. It is a bit of a complicated one. We're doing stitches we haven't done before. It's a long repeat. So I do recommend following along with the chart that's in the magazine just to see where we're placing all those stitches. But yes, we're going to be doing that twice more. So I'll talk you through it one more time and then I'll leave you to do it twice more. So we're going to start our repeat with our double treble, treble treble, quadruple treble cluster. And that's going to be in the next 3 chain space. We're then going to work chain 6 and 2 double crochet all in that 3 chain space. We're going to chain 1 and then we're going to work 1 double crochet, chain 5 and then a treble treble 4-stitch cluster in the next chain space. We're going to chain 6 and double crochet in the same chain space. We're then going to chain 1. We're going to work 2 double crochet. That is our repeat completed there. To finish off our round, we're going to be working in our next 3 chain space. And we're going to work 1 double treble, treble treble, quadruple treble cluster, chain 5 and 2 double crochet all in the next 3 chain space. So we're going to start with our double treble. Treble treble and quadruple treble, so we're left with 4 loops on the hook, round and through all 4. Then chain 6 and work 2 double crochet in the same chain space. Chain 1, 1 double crochet, chain 5 in the next chain space. Then we're going to work a treble treble 4-stitch cluster. That's our treble treble 4-stitch cluster. Chain 6 and work 1 double crochet in the same chain space. Chain 1, work 2 double crochet in the next chain space, chain 6, then we're going to work a quadruple treble, treble treble, double treble cluster in this same space. Chain 1. To finish the round, we're going to work a slip stitch into our first double crochet. But instead of picking up our navy yarn, we're going to be changing to white. So have your white yarn ready and pull that through to change colour on that last stitch. And that is our round 5. Round 6, we're going to start with chain 3. And that counts as our first treble stitch. We're then going to work 4 more trebles in the same stitch. We're going to chain 5. Then we're going to work a double crochet in this 6 chain space here. It runs along the side of one of the petals. So just a double crochet in there. Chain 7. Then work a double crochet in the top of your treble cluster. Chain 7 again. I'm going to miss the next chain space and work a double crochet in the next one. We're then going to chain 5. And we're going to work 5 treble crochets in this next double crochet. That is our repeat. We're going to work it twice more. So we're going to be doing chain 5, double crochet in the next 6 chain space, chain 7, double crochet in the top of your treble cluster, chain 7, miss the next 6 chain space and double crochet in the next 6 chain space, chain 5 and work 5 treble in the next double crochet. So we're going to work that 2 more times and then I'll show you how we finish off the last repeat and close off the round. I've worked that repeat another 2 times now, so we've done it 3 times in total, and now to close the round we're going to chain 5. We're going to work a double crochet in the next 6 chain space and chain 7. We're going to work a double crochet at the top of our treble cluster. Chain 7 again. Skip our next 6 chain space and double crochet in the next one. And we're then going to chain 5 and join with a slip stitch to the top of our 3 chain at the start just here. That is our round 6. Round 7, we're going to start with chain 2. We're then going to work treble 4 together over our next 4 stitches. So we're going to work, it's very similar to working a treble cluster. We're going to work half a treble in each stitch and then round and through all the loops left on the hook. And that takes our cluster of trebles and turns it into a petal shape. We're going to chain 5 and work 1 double crochet in the next 5 chain space. We're then going to chain 7 and double crochet in the next chain space. We're going to do that 3 times. So chain 7 and double crochet in the next chain space. So that's 3 times there. Chain 7, double crochet in the next chain space. We're then going to chain 5 and we're going to work treble 5 together over our cluster of 5 trebles here. So again, we work half a treble stitch in each stitch. just like we're doing a cluster, but we're working into each individual stitch rather than into a space. When you've done your 5, you're going to have 6 loops on the hook. You're going to go round and through all 6. And that is our repeat for this round. We're going to be working it another 2 times. So it starts with chain 5 and double crochet in the next 5 chain space, just that one just there. Then chain 7 and double crochet in the next chain space 3 times, chain 5, and then we're going to do our treble 5 together. That's our repeat. We need to do it another 2 times. I'll show you what it looks like when we've done that and how we finish off that last repeat. Once we've worked that repeat twice more, we're going to chain 5. And we're going to work a double crochet in the next 5 chain space. We're going to chain 7. And double crochet in the next chain space. We're going to do that 3 times. We're going to chain 5. To finish off the round, we're going to work a slip stitch into the top of our treble 4 together just here. But we're going to be changing back to yarn A, to our fuchsia yarn. So go into the stitch as if you're going to work a slip stitch. So go into the stitch, and then we're going to pick up the pink yarn and bring that back through and complete the slip stitch with the pink yarn. So we're ready for round 8. Round 8, we're going to be using our fuchsia yarn, yarn A, and we're going to start with chain 3. We are then going to work 5 trebles in the next chain space. We're then going to work a treble 2 together, and it's going to go, the first leg of the treble 2 together is going to go in the same chain space we've been working in. So work half a treble stitch in that space, and then the next part of the treble 2 together goes in the next chain space. So we're joining those chain spaces together. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, go round and through, and that is your treble 2 together over the 2 chain spaces. We're then going to work 7 trebles in this same chain space that we ended our treble 2 together in. Then we're going to work another treble 2 together, joining the 2 chain spaces. So the first leg of it is in the same chain space we've been working, and the second part is in the next chain space, and join them together. And that we're going to do 3 times. So 7 trebles, and then that treble 2 together, joining the chain spaces. We're going to do it 3 times. So we've done it once, so we need to do it twice more. So that's 7 treble in the next 7 chain space, treble 2 together over the same and the next chain space 3 times. We're then going to work 5 treble in the chain space we're working in here. Then we're going to work at the top of this treble 5 together here, and we're going to work 1 treble, 1 chain and another treble, all in that same space. And that is our repeat for this round. So we're going to be working 5 treble in the next 5 chain space, treble 2 together over the same and the next chain space, 7 treble in the next 7 chain space, treble 2 together over the same and the next chain space 3 times, 5 treble in the next 5 chain space, then 1 treble, chain 1, 1 treble in the top of our treble 5 together. We're going to do that twice more, And I'll show you what it looks like when we've done that and how we finish off the round. I've just finished working that repeat another 2 times, and now we're going to work a partial repeat. So it's exactly the same as what we've been doing. We're going to do 5 trebles in the next 5 chain space, then treble 2 together over the next 2 chain spaces, and then our 7 treble in the next 7 chain space, and the treble 2 together over the next 2 chain spaces 3 times. Work that part of the repeat, and then I'll show you how we join the round. So now we've worked that, we're in our last chain space. And we're going to work 6 trebles in this space. To join the round, we're going to join to the top of our 3 chain here. We're going to join with a double crochet. We're going to change colour to white again, so we can work the first part in the pink. Then pick up our white yarn and work the second part of the stitch in the white yarn. And we're ready for round 9. Round 9, we're going to start with chain 1. Then we're going to work a double crochet where we've just done that double crochet to close the round. We're then going to chain 7. We're then going to miss 4 stitches, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to be working in this stitch here. We're going to work a treble 2 together, but we're going to work it the first leg in this stitch and then the second stitch in the next 4th stitch along. So we'll start our treble 2 together here, working the first part, then we're going to miss 3 stitches and then work the second part in the 4th stitch there, and then work those stitches together. And that is our treble 2 together. We're going to chain 7. We're going to miss the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3. We're going to be working in that one here. And again, we're going to be doing that treble 2 together over this stitch and the 4th one along. So we're going to work the first leg of our treble 2 together in this stitch, then count along 3, and work the next leg in the 4th stitch and work them together like so. We're going to do that 3 times. So chain 7, miss 3 stitches, treble 2 together over the next and the 4th stitch along. We're going to do it 3 times. That is 3 times there. We're then going to chain 7 again. We're going to miss the next 4 stitches and we're going to work a double crochet in the 1 chain space just here. And that is our repeat. So we're going to chain 7, miss 4 stitches, treble 2 together over the next and 4th stitch along, chain 7, miss 3 stitches, treble 2 together over the next and 4th stitch along 3 times, chain 7, miss 4 stitches and double crochet in the next 1 chain space. You're going to do that twice more and then you're going to work a partial repeat. So you're going to finish that partial repeat after you've done the chain 7, miss 3, treble 2 together 3 times. I'll show you what we do when we've got to that point and how we close off the round. That's what our round 9 is looking like after we've finished 2 full repeats and 1 partial repeat. To finish off the round, we're going to chain 7. We're going to miss our last 4 stitches here and we're going to join with a slip stitch. But we're going to be changing colour to colour D, which is our navy yarn. So if we have our navy yarn ready, we can go into the stitch and make our slip stitch with our navy yarn. And that joins our round. We're ready for round 10 and we can fasten off our white yarn. Round 10, we're going to be using our navy yarn and we're going to start with chain 7. We're then going to be working 1 treble treble 3 stitch cluster, chain 5, 1 treble treble 4 stitch cluster, chain 5, and 1 treble treble 4 stitch cluster in the 5th chain from our hook. So part of this chain 7 that we've just done. So it's the 5th from the hook, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 2 up from the bottom, whichever way you want to think about it. And we're going to be doing a treble, treble 3-stitch cluster to start with. So round the hook 3 times, like we did at the beginning, into that stitch, and then work your treble treble as normal, leaving the last 2 loops on the hook. You're going to do that 3 times. Then round and through all the loops remaining on the hook. Chain 5. Then a treble treble 4-stitch cluster in the same space. So this is exactly the same, we're just doing another stitch. So we're working our treble trebles up to that last part, leaving that last part on the hook, and we're working 4 treble trebles. So you should have 5 loops remaining on your hook, round and through all 3, and chain 5. And then we're going to do another 4-stitch treble treble cluster in the same stitch. We're then going to chain 3. And we're going to work a double crochet in the next 7 chain space. We're going to chain 7 and double crochet in the next chain space. And we're going to do that a total of 4 times, so 3 more times. What we're doing on this round is we're making some very fancy corners. We are then going to chain 3. And we're going to work 1 quin treble in the next double crochet. Now quin treble is very similar to the treble trebles and quadruple trebles that we were doing. We're just going to go round the hook 5 times. Now that's given us this really long post here, and this is going to work the same way as our chain 7 that we did at the start. So where we've done this little fancy bit here, we're now going to do the same thing, but we're going to work in the middle of this quin treble stitch. So you can sort of count the wraps around it. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want to be working in the 3rd one. And then we're going to be doing exactly what we did in this first corner, in that 3rd bump, so to speak, of this quin treble stitch. So the first thing we're going to do is a treble treble 3-stitch cluster. Chain 5, and then a treble treble 4-stitch cluster, again all in that space there. Chain 5, and then another treble, treble, 4 stitch cluster. There you go, and it's all in that central bump of our quin stitch just there. And then we're going to chain 3. So our repeat for the round is double crochet in the next chain space, chain 7, 1 double crochet in the next 7 chain space 4 times, chain 3. Then we're going to work that quin treble in the next double crochet. We're then going to work our cluster of stitches, our 1 treble, treble, 3 stitch cluster, chain 5, 1 treble, treble, 4 stitch cluster, chain 5, 1 treble, treble, 4 stitch cluster in the central point of our quin treble stitch. Finally, to end the round, we're going to chain 3. So again, it's a bit more of a complicated one, so by all means follow along in the chart. So if you want to work that repeat another 2 times and then work a partial repeat along that final side, I'm going to meet you back after we've done all our chain 7s double crochets along the side, and then I'll show you how we join that last corner to finish the round. So this is what our round 10 is looking like after we've done that repeat twice more and then that partial repeat. So all we need to do to finish the round is to chain 3, and then we're going to work a slip stitch into the top of this first cluster here. So we slip stitch into there. That is our round 10. So now we can fasten off our navy yarn and we're ready for round 11. So for round 11, we're going to be using our white yarn and we're going to be rejoining it. What I've done, because we're not joining it where we cut off our navy, is I've just turned our square, so our fancy corners are at each corner. And you can see along the top, we've got our chain 7s that we did on the previous round. We're going to join our yarn to the 3rd one on the top, so this one here. So we're going to join our yarn to there, we're going to chain 1, and we're going to work a double crochet in the same space. We are then going to chain 7, and we're going to double crochet in the next chain space. So that is our repeat for this round. It's a really simple one. We're just going to chain 7 and double crochet in the next chain space. We're going to do it all the way around, and I'll show you what it looks like when we get back to this side and how we join the round. When you've finished working that repeat all the way around, you'll be left with 1 gap left to cover to join the round. To do that, we're going to chain 3, and we're going to finish with a double treble in our first stitch, just here. And that is round 11. For round 12, we're going to start with the chain 1, and we're going to double crochet in that same chain space. We're then going to chain 5, and work a double crochet in the next chain space. We're going to do that 4 times. That will take us to our corner space there. In our corner space, we're going to chain 3 and work a double crochet in the same space. Then going to work along the side, and we're going to do chain 5 and double crochet in the next space. We're going to do that 8 times. I've worked that 8 times along the side there, and we're back at the corner. To start our repeat again. So our repeat for this round is chain 3 and double crochet in the same space. That's our corner space. Then chain 5, double crochet in the next chain space 8 times. We're going to do that twice more, and I'll show you what it looks like when we get there and how we join the round. I've worked that repeat twice more, and now I'm in that final corner. So I'm going to chain 3 and double crochet in the same space, and then I'm going to carry on doing the chain 5, double crochet in the next chain space until we get to the beginning of round. So then to join, we'll chain 5 and we just slip stitch into that first double crochet, and that is round 12. Round 13 is our border round. We're going to start with chain 1, and we're going to double crochet in the same stitch we slip stitched in to close the last round. We're then going to work 5 double crochet in the next 5 chain space. And 1 double crochet in the next double crochet stitch. We're going to do that 4 times. In our corner 3 chain space, we're going to work 2 double crochet, 1 chain and 2 double crochet. And then double crochet and the double crochet the other side of it. And then we're back to working 5 double crochets in every 5 chain space and 1 double crochet in every double crochet. And that is our repeat for this round. So we're going to be working 2 double crochet, 1 chain, 2 double crochet in the 3 chain space at each corner, and then 1 double crochet in each double crochet and 5 double crochet in each 5 chain space. We're going to be repeating that all the way around the edge and joining with a slip stitch. And I'll show you what it looks like when we've done that, and we'll have a look at our finished square. And here we have our finished square. So all we need to do now is weave in any remaining ends and give it a bit of a press. Then we need to pop a number on with number 7 and store it away with our other squares until we're ready to join it together to make our throw. So I really hope you've enjoyed following along with this tutorial and making your square today. And I hope you'll join me again for the next one. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.